Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Starkers, and they call me Dan over here.
Yo.
And this week, we're going to talk about VIVES, the VIVES competition, which is a really, really cool music competition that Lord Butterfly has taken up. So we've got our special guest here this week, Mr. Lord Butterfly himself. So we'll just bring him in
Hey
here.
guys.
Hold on one second. There you are.
Oh,
Can you
awesome.
see us?
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for having me on. Great to
Nice.
be here.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. It's been a while since Hive Fest. I think it was the last time we spoke.
Well, a few times in between as well.
Yeah. Well, you've been involved in a lot of good stuff. You've been involved in the rally side of things, which has been a huge success, and I understand there's some interesting updates happening to that in the near future. And you've also created this Hive Vibes music competition, which I'm seeing people all over Twitter talk about, which is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really great. We've been humbled with the interest people have shown, and this is basically something we're not only doing for the community, the music community on Hive, but we're really trying to branch out and introduce the wider crypto music community to Hive, to what we're doing, how we can support musicians, and basically do good, get incentives in line with everybody else, with investors, with musicians, with ourselves. So it's been really good for the last couple of weeks. A lot of new entries, a lot of new people coming onto Hive. You've probably been seeing them live, the trending pages. So yeah, it's been nice.
So yeah, I mean, have you got anything to ask Lord
Well,
Butterfly before we kick it off?
just echoing that, I've seen a lot of new people come on, and
Yeah.
talent's really good. The person who won, I don't
Yeah.
know the name, but I want to add that to my Spotify. I want to listen to that song because it's great. What's down?
What's-
White collar criminals.
What's
that,
up? The cost of living. What's
That
down?
was good.
Conviction of white collar criminals.
But this is
we love it.
This is what it's all about. And hats off to Lord Butterfly because he found a way to make it cool. It's like vibes. You keep hearing vibes everywhere. You're seeing new people get involved, and they're talented, and they're enjoying, and they're seeing and actually experiencing Web3. It's really refreshing. So, yeah.
It's an actual Web3 experience, I think. And
Actual.
I think these artists that are taking part in the competition, they know it's Web3. I mean, they can tell the difference, I'm assuming, that, especially ones that post to Hive and are getting rewarded and things like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the couple of spaces we've been on, my wife is the co-creator of this. She's helping out quite a bit. She was involved with the NFT music space for the very part of the last year. So, I mean, through her, we had already these connections, these contacts, and with Vibes, we try to grow it a bit. It's much easier to pitch a project like this to people that know you than it is just going up to somebody that doesn't know you and then telling them, well, we're going to reward everybody. A couple of days ago when I was in Lossy Space, is one of the new musicians that's involved with us with Vibes. She had me on her show and she had to repeat like 4 or 5 times, yes guys, this is true. I mean, it does sound too good to be true, but it's true. It is true. So people that are, let's say they're in Web3, actually spend time on Twitter, in those spaces. Most of them never actually heard about Hive. So them seeing a blockchain that actually rewards not only the block producers, not only the investors, it rewards everybody that uses the blockchain is a new concept to them, even though we've been here for like 8 years. So it's been interesting seeing the reactions, and it's been positive most of the time.
I think most people get it when you approach it as a value for value model. It says, okay, nothing's for free, but if you provide value, you can earn value in return. That's what Web3 really is about. And they'll start to click and say, oh, so you mean if I upload my good music and I partake in the community, I can actually earn? That makes sense. It's not some funny money being printed and just given away at a whim. It's no, you come in, make a name for yourself, provide some value, and you may earn some value in return. Good concept.
Yeah, I mean, the simplest way, going on these spaces, talking to people, trying to explain to them how this actually works. What they want to know is, first of all, okay, so they see the values on their posts. They want to know where does the money come from. So I worked on this, let's call it an elevator pitch, explaining to them how this works actually, and it's quite simple. Just by taking Bitcoin as an example, of how they distribute their inflation. 100% of it going to miners. We have, of course, we give out part of the inflation to block producers or that secure the chain, to investors as well. But something goes to the community, something goes to people that actually use this chain. It's a really novel concept since nobody else really is doing it right now. So that's something that they were really interested in. I had people pitch and say, well, Reddit should do this same thing with Karma and other platforms as well. So it's really interesting to them, even though it's been here for a long time. And that's something I'm proud when I see it, see that kind of reaction.
It's our evil plan to distribute a censorship-resistant stablecoin.
Yeah.
The Trojan horse.
That Trojan horse.
You know what's really interesting here? Like there used to be the Hive open mic competition back in the day. And I'm interested to find out, like, what made you, because as far as I can tell, it's a very similar concept. But if you were doing something fresh and new on Hive, how have you taken that and scaled it up so big compared to what it was when it was in the Hive open mic form? Like, what made you decide that's the niche we need to go down, that's where we need to go and focus? And because it's been tremendously successful, and it's great to see, like, another version of Hive open mic just become so successful.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a difference between the two, but actually, Steam It Open Mic was the idea we were trying to emulate. At first, I was actually talking to a lot of the judges. Verbal D, that you just quoted, his song, he's one of the old judges from Steam It Open Mic, and we're really happy he came back. But the difference here is that at the time when Steam It Open Mic started, you didn't really have any crypto music communities that existed on Twitter. You didn't have an NFT music space. None of that existed. So in a way, Steam It Open Mic was pioneering Web3 music at the time. A few bear markets later, it didn't work out well, but during that time, NFTs became a thing, and this community grew. And when I was looking at what our social media apps were doing, our social media front ends, I didn't see them promoting much of anything on Web2 where the actual users are. And considering I had connections through my life with this NFT space, I thought to myself, well, this is a good target to focus on now. These guys aren't just random musicians that show up. These guys are established in a community. They have their own community. And if we got inside that community and tried to introduce our values, whatever we're doing here on Hive, when it comes to ideology, philosophy, even just the reward side of things, I thought, well, that will definitely interest them. So I tried to see, well, what do they want? First of all, I went on a couple of spaces, talked to them, what is it that you guys want to see? What is it that you're missing? Is it a place where you can gather on Web3? Is it more support from investors? And, all of those things we on Hive could provide to them. And once I established there is a need for this, I went ahead and see if there is support from our Hive investors, and there was. So it wasn't really difficult to start this off. The major difference with Steam It Open Mic and prior onboarding of musicians or influencers on Hive or on Steam is that there was a problem. There was a problem that we would get them here and they would basically perform for us. None of their old users on other social media would hear about Hive. None of them will hear about whatever they were doing on Hive, and they wouldn't see any of the content posted there. They wouldn't talk to them on their other social. They would basically put the best case scenario. They put the logo Hive underneath their name as a social media link, and that's it. So I was thinking, okay, so how do I avoid that? How do I get the people that are following these musicians? How do I get them to see that they're posting things to VIVES, they're posting things to Hive, and I just basically told them you have to upload the video to Twitter, and now everybody that is their follower gets to see that they're posting stuff to Hive, that they're posting stuff to VIVES. That's something I require also from the Hive users that have been here for a longer time, just to increase our reach. And when you do that, the algorithm treats you differently. the things that I like as a Hiver, they get shown to people that never heard anything about Hive. So you're basically connecting slowly these two communities, the Hive community and the music community on Twitter, through basically connecting them through Vibes. And so far it's been growing pretty well. There have been some issues specific with onboarding, but I won't go into that in too much detail. But it seems to be working. So for now, I'm just going to continue as I'm doing right now, and hopefully, we're going to see a lot more results in the long term.
It's really important to the connection you made. You have Web 2 as a traffic funnel to Web 3. Web 3 is something that you own. No one's going to advertise something you own for you. So it's very important that you use these Web 2 traffic funnels to showcase it. So the fact that you had them put it on Twitter, I think that should be the standard moving forward. You don't look at it as a Hive as a place to go advertise and get a bunch of followers. You bring your followers to Hive because now you actually have a place that you have control over. So, yeah.
The other thing
the first step was
go on, Damien.
So the first step was basically getting the musicians onto Hive, getting them to post there. The second step is actually getting their communities through a simpler onboarding system to contribute, which is why I developed another thing called community voting. It should happen through a poll. Again, there's some issues there. We've been waiting for a couple of weeks for it to go up, where people will basically come in, vote for their favorites, increase their chances of winning, and themselves get rewarded a bit. So there's an incentive for the musicians to share share their entries with their fans, tell them, okay, come here, vote for me, maybe vote for others as well, but vote for me primarily, get rewarded for it. And that's something that I think could work when it comes to the masses. But first step is getting people actually to post content, and it's been going fine so far.
I just want to ask, coming back to the start of this, and for other people's benefit as well on Hive, how did you create this? Like, it seems to me that you've got Vibes, the brand, and the idea of people saying, "Hey, I'm entering the Vibes competition. Week 2, week 3, we're on now." So you see random musicians around Twitter saying this, and then you've got all the infrastructure set up on Hive to do this, all the voting and the support from Wales, which I assume was quite difficult to get. You've got the whole kind of process flow in place as to how and then you've got the judges. You need to get a hold of the judges to make sure they do it properly. Like, what went into this? What am I missing from that? If you're telling a Hive-in how you set this up, what would you say to them?
Well, I'd say whatever you're doing on Hive, first of all, see if there is any initial interest for it. Is it necessary? Do people want this? Will they find any value in this? And you have to do research. You have to ask them beforehand, and then you have to go out and talk to them. You have to talk to people, and when you do that, you develop connections. I mean, we're already. I mean, on the first week before we even started, I had a cross promotion ready with Sam Felt. He's one of the biggest DJs in the world. His community. He started Heartfelt Records. We had a partnership with him, cross promotion. His community comes to us, a few other rewards as well. And that was ready on week 1. On week 2, we already had a second judge that's connected well in the music NFT industry. Then we have tuning in, doing interviews with the winners of our second and third week. So right now she's doing it with Verbal D. That's going up on their website. It's going up on Hive. So you basically have to talk to people. That's the gist of everything. You have to go outside of our Hive echo chamber, open the door, tear down the walls, go outside, see what people want, and it's stuff like that opens doors. You're gonna go from one cross promotion to another. You're gonna meet people, and that's basically how you become relevant in this industry. If we continue as we did for the last 8 years, just stuck, it's like Hive is like Fort Knox with gold inside and nobody can get in. That's how I see it. And I think we should change that. We should get outside and maybe tear down those walls called onboarding trouble.
Yeah, I mean, onboarding's been a big problem over the years. We're very, very, very close to having our own new onboarding system, and we're really looking forward to rolling it out. It's the onboarding's really prevented me from going big on what three speakers, for example. You know, I don't really want to talk about it too much in public just yet until we get the onboarding right, because so many people have tried onboarding and they've just been rejected or they've just been dejected and left Hive. You know, so at this point, I'm like, and once we've got a decent onboarding system in place, which we're very close to, I'm looking forward to having it, and hopefully you guys can find some decent solutions for Vibes as well, and I'm sure you will. I heard you've been talking to the Leo Finance team.
Yeah, I mean, I think they figured it out. There's just a few more tweaks they need to do when it comes to the sign-up flow, specifically for the communities. And this is something that, without you actually testing it, for all Hive users, this isn't something you come into contact with too much. I mean, if you want to change a profile pic, you do it once, and you know, maybe once every year. So this isn't something you touch upon. And then when new users come into Hive and they want to change their picture, they get an error. So I'm basically spending like 2 or 3 hours every day trying to fix things that don't work, telling people, well, the user experience here isn't great, the sign-up flow isn't good, and some are more receptive than others. And slowly, I think over a course of a few days, maybe a week or two, we should have everything ironed out, and be much simpler for people to get into Vibes and make their entry and everything.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When you go through practice, you don't even think of these things. You think, oh, people like to change their profile picture a lot. Like these just little things that are important to a lot of people. But yeah, we'll iron it out, smooth it out, figure it out. We always do.
It's good. So I want to break this up for a little bit. I've got this. I found Verbal D, the winner of week 2, and I just think the guy's a legend. I want to play a little bit of him if you don't mind. I'm sure you've heard plenty of him over the last few weeks, but the guy's a legend. Let's just have a little listen to this guy.
He's the one that won, yes.
Yeah, he won last week. Yeah.
VIVES Web3 Music Competition week 2. Original song, multifaceted. Let's go. What's up? The cost of living. What's down? The conviction of white called the criminals. What's left? Hope, love, and faith. What's right? Changing lives, even if it's just one. What's up? The cost of living. What's down? The conviction of white called the criminals. What's left? Hope, love, and faith. What's right? Changing lives, even if it's just one. Born into the 80s, gonna be rapping till I'm 80. Let them hate along the journey, let them hate, cause I'll be waiting. Top is where we're heading, then no time for second guessing. Never get the habit, given recognition, godly blessings. Back to our community, struggle is nothing new to me. Sick of our government, cause few have immunity. Love and peace inside my heart, there's nothing more that's true to me. Know the light of truth.
I mean, I could listen to that guy all day. I really could. I really
Good
could.
stuff right there.
It's absolutely brilliant.
You guys are savage.
Savage. So I'm just like, yeah, bring that stuff on.
And it's great because great 3-speak content, People
Great
go on there. You
3-speak
want to listen to
content.
some good old, some good new stuff.
We're loving that.
Head on over to 3-speak.
I guess we should also just give a quick shout out to the other artists that won as well. Aboro Adwele came second.
He has a beautiful voice. I think it's also an original song. Yeah.
And this is the
Pretty
great thing.
amazing.
It's original music. It's so cool,
Yeah.
and he really has got a beautiful voice, man. I mean, what a legend. Fondue. I haven't listened to him yet.
He does kind of special kind of covers of rap music in his own style. It's interesting, really. So,
And then you got Polo from South America. By the looks of it.
dude really shreds the bass guitar.
Good bassist. Fode Moro de Music, I think is the last one in 5th place.
There's six places, so
6th place is last. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
yeah. We say on the vibes, everybody gets rewarded. So
And everyone gets
Yeah,
rewards.
6
Yeah,
places.
that's it. So then you got your prize money there. So last week's prize was $550 for the winner, 300, 200 for 3rd place. 4th place got 100, and 5th and 6th place got the same as well. This is dollars, non-KYCable, non-custodial stable coin called HBD. Is it the same this week? Is it going to be the same every week?
yeah, I mean, the level of prizes should continue at this level. So last week they were a bit higher since we didn't have community voting, but they should be around 500 for the 1st place, 250 for 2nd. And I mean, that's quite generous, I feel. compared to everything else. And we're doing it every week, so everybody's gonna get a chance to win the first place. And we're also giving out NFT trophy. There's a picture above. You probably scrolled over it. So everybody every week that wins gets one. I'm gonna frame mine. It's actually made by one of the community members, you Simon. We're perfecting it a bit. We blurred it out. It wasn't finished. Should be done today or tomorrow.
Oh, it's like it's two guitars, is it, with the trophy?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Okay, looking forward to that.
Yeah, it took about 2 weeks to perfect it and should be done very soon.
Nice. And how are you funding it? Where'd you get the money from for these prizes?
Well,
is that a secret?
No, it's from Value Plan for the DHF, and so far it's covering everything it should, and we secured funds for the next month and a few weeks, so it should be fine. I mean, as long as it grows, as long as new people coming in, as long as it gets attention on social media elsewhere, I think this should potentially go indefinitely forward.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, there's a marketing budget, and this is one very clever way to get people on board, and it will grow and grow and grow. People will be after the money and the NFTs. People love their NFTs, and this is when you actually earn. So that's great.
The thing that I thought was... Go on.
I can go into it a bit when we finish the show, the concept that is behind this, but I won't cover it right now. So ask me again later.
Some secret sauce.
I just love seeing people on Twitter going, this is my week entry for week 2 for Hive Vibes or for Vibes, and you hear it all, like the music community on Twitter. This must be penetrating it, and at a certain point, it's so cool because it's like it's indirect marketing for Hive because people are saying vibes. I'm vibing. This is my vibe. Exactly. And in reality, like people are going to go, well, what's vibes? And then eventually they'll realize it's on Hive. And then the authors, because as far as I can tell, all the authors aren't posting to Hive, right? Some of them post to Twitter, but the ones that do post to Hive are being very generously rewarded. So at a certain point, people are going to be like, you monetizing this content on Hive? What the hell? And it just leads to all the right questions.
They're all posting on Hive. Yeah, so they just share the Twitter link. It expands in the post.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah. So
that's cool as well. That's
getting views on 2 places.
I really like that as well. I like that people can post their YouTube links or their Twitter video links straight to Hive, and the blog gets rewarded, even though it's not content on the Hive blockchain, as it were. It's a link to it. I like that use of Hive. I think it's a great use for Hive, and I'm glad that people have accepted that and kind of embraced it and are still upvoting that content. I think it's great stuff to see.
Yeah, agreed.
So, is there anything else you want to mention here? Any other questions you got for Mr. Butterfly?
I'd like to see this continue growing. I can see this going viral. I can see this becoming a really big thing in crypto Twitter and more people getting involved. So I think it's the right timing, clever idea, and a very good use of funds. So yeah.
Let's say
if I had a hat, I'd tip it.
What do you want us to go into anything? We'll bring your Twitter up here as well. Let's just do that real quick. So this is your Twitter. Hold on. I think it's that one. Hi, Vibes Web 3. She's just a great... Yeah. This lady here, Lossie, she's absolutely class as well. Let's just play a little bit of her.
Hello guys, it's Lossie here, and this is week 3 of Vibes, and I'll be singing Fría, which is an original song. No fui yo, fuiste tú, el que con su actitud y su fría mirada apagó nuestra llama. Dices que miento, que no es cierto, nuestro amor es tan perfecto. Tú y yo no vamos más, aquí no hay nada. Los besos que te di, el tiempo que perdí, ahora juras a otra.
It's just you see trending over there. You see LinkedIn, Andrew Tate should say Vibes.
Yeah, it'll say Vibes soon. Yeah. You know, it's really, she's really talented as well. She did like a freestyle rap or something. She can rap as well. Like she's it's amazing talent, amazing talent. You got anything to say about any of these tweets, Damir?
Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff is... Sorry?
Have you got anything to say about these tweets? Any of
Can you
these?
repeat the question?
Yeah, have you got anything to say about these tweets?
Oh yeah, I mean, I just wanted to mention for this week we have a new judge, Leslie Mink. She was one of the participants for week 1. She's pretty amazing. She runs her own show. Actually, the results for this week, the winners will be announced on her show in a couple of days. On 8th of March, we're gonna have what I call a classic call to action on Hive. Reward the people a bit to show up there and represent Hive. I think that's gonna be nice. We did a similar thing a couple of days ago in the Discord for Sam Felt. I think about 200 people showed up, so I'm hoping to repeat that again. Our curators and supporters have been great. I mean, Dan, you're one of them. Thanks for supporting Vibes, and that's about it.
So one last thing here I wanted to touch on was the idea of bringing these people together and having like a Hive Vibes music festival, or bringing them to Hive Fest at some point maybe. I would get my Hive Fest. I would pay whatever it takes. I'd pay whatever it takes to get into that festival.
Maybe you do a competition and the top whatever get to perform on stage.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Any thoughts? Any ideas?
Well, I'll think about it. I mean, I have a list of ideas of stuff we're intending to do, so that's definitely something we're going to look at after a few weeks, few months, to see if it's going to work. Again, we just need to grow, and if that continues, all of these ideas can much easier come to fruition than they stop being just ideas.
Yeah, I picture a butterfly with like a Rolodex of ideas, and he's just like,
we'll do that one this week. Also, it's really good to see you hit your stride as well. This looks like it's right in your niche on Hive, and I know that you've had multiple different attempts over the years at marketing Hive, and you've always been there. And this one is one that seems to be doing, among many others, doing really, really well. So congratulations from both of us. And
Thanks.
Good to see, man.
Thanks.
Keep it up. Right. Well, I think we can call an end to the show there. And
get vibing.
Yeah. Any final words, Lord Butterfly? Anything else from you?
I mean, you're showing great improvement with the show. Love the background, love everything that you're doing, and looking forward to seeing. Is this the first time you're actually doing it live like this?
This is the first time we've had a guest on live. Yeah, yeah.
I've done a few solo, but you're the first one. Yep.
We'll be having many more.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
The inaugural live show.
We'll have to get him an NFT for being the first guest on CTT.
You get Matt and I in the same city for a while. We'll do some damage. So we got the studio. We're ready. Let's go.
All right. That's all from us then. Speak to you all soon. Thanks very much, Mr. Butterfly, again.
Great chat.
Good luck with Vibes. All good.
See ya.
Laters.